Hi, good morning and salam sejahtera. Today we have technologist Mr. Surya Prakash Vijaya Surya on today webinar. He will share with us on topic smart manufacturing technologies for sustainable future. So, Mr. Surya, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Umi Nadira. Good morning to all. And my name is T.S. Surya Prakash Vijay Surya. I have more than 7 years of experience as a mechanical engineer working in few countries and also in manufacturing field and also in consultation areas. I am currently an academician in Masa University, acting as a mechanical engineering lecturer, teaching various mechanical engineering subjects. At the same time, I'm attached to an industry as a project engineer as well. Thank you very much for having me today. And my title today is Smart Manufacturing Technologies for Sustainable Future. This is a very famous title. Everyone is wondering why everywhere in this current era, smart, the term is being used, why generative AI term is being used, what is AI, and then some saying industry revolution 4.0. There are many terms, okay, but the most common term is smart manufacturing technologies. Why smart? Because there are many different types of industries, palm oil industries, we can say as the paper industries, chocolate manufacturing industries. There are many different types of industries. They use smart technologies because to improve their performance. At the same time, not only improving performance, reducing cost, at the moment, they also focusing on the sustainability of it, which is the main aim to achieve sustainable future. So this is the topic about smart manufacturing technologies for sustainable future. As the introduction of the topic, smart manufacturing technology utilizes machines and tools which are interconnected for the improvement of manufacturing system and energy optimization. Many industries, many companies especially, they utilizes manufacturing technology through integration of machines, tools, and at the same time humans. They collaborate together. Once they done the collaboration and everything, they started to reduce the energy consumption, reduce the water consumption, reduce the manpower cost. So the energy optimization is basically they are trying to utilize the energy without wasting it. So the benefits of a smart manufacturing technology includes cost reduction. This is the main point of our topic. All the industry, all the companies that utilizes a smart manufacturing technologies, their focus is to reduce cost and improve productivity. Once they improve the productivity, automatically the company's profit will be very high. At the same time, they are trying to make product customization. If you see, there are many different client requirements, customer requirements. These customer requirements and client requirements, sometimes it's only specific for their own need. So let's say, for example, 10,000 customers, they want a calculator, just a calculator with these particular dimensions. Then suddenly a customer is appearing and then mentioning, I want a calculator with a solar panel. At the same time, I want a additional backup battery, and I don't want this dimension. So the manufacturing industry, they came out with this term called product customization, so that they can able to supply to the particular customer requirements. Next is the resources efficiency. Resource is the main thing, plays a main role in the industry, because without resources there will be no any product. There will be no any manufacturing of goods. So resources plays a very important role. At the same time, they are trying to minimize the negative environmental impacts. So this topic, the main term that we are going to focus today is the cost reduction, increased productivity, product customization, resources efficiency without wasting the resources and utilize it very well, and minimization of the negative environmental impact. When we go to a smart manufacturing technology, they always focusing on digitalization. What is digitalization? Smart manufacturing refers to the digitalization of manufacturing at all the levels. It can start with the product design, supply chain, production, distribution, and until the sales. Everything must be computerized, which means it's all digitalized. Okay, so that they can track down each levels through looking at the computer, looking at the programming, and able to monitor it efficiently through the computers. At the same time, the digitalization comes together with another word called analyzing. By analyzing data from all the steps in the manufacturing process through many technologies like machine learning, which is the part of AI, and then AI itself, which stands for artificial intelligence, and connected robotics. So, like robots working with humans together and to improve the productivity, automatically these robots can be controlled using computers through programs. So manufacturer can stay agile and make fast adjustments to their business models. So without any errors in the manufacturing process, these technologies helps them. So the digitalization is basically, the idea of the digitalization is to bring the traditional manufacturing and change it to the computerized manufacturing, which means control all the manufacturing processes using computers and also systems. The transition to smart manufacturing starts with bringing analog data into a digital database. So, which means it's very easy for them to store, easy for the companies, managers, engineers who handle certain projects or manufacturing processes, easy for them to analyze it and also able to troubleshoot issues and make fast adjustments. So that is the important part of this particular slide. The term for the important of this slide is called digitalization. The next important thing is smart manufacturing is one part, and then smart, it is making the whole manufacturing process becoming a smart, intelligent. Okay, why smart and intelligent is integration with a lot of technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, cloud computing, okay, 3D printing, okay, which is mentioned called as additive manufacturing, and so on. At the same time, they also looking at the sustainability of the whole manufacturing process, which comes to another term called sustainable manufacturing. Sustainable manufacturing is the strategic method of creating products through economical means and using components that minimize waste and reduce negative environmental impact. This sustainable, they focuses on three main pillars. One is economy. Second is the environment. Third is the social, which is our humans. Okay, so they would like to minimize the waste. At the same time, when we minimize the waste, we already reduce the cost. At the same time, they would like to reduce the negative environmental impact. So the negative environmental impact comes to a term called circular economy. So the sustainable manufacturing is basically focusing on circular economy rather than a linear economy. So the circular economy, basically they uses the resources efficiently, and when they produce the product itself can become, can be recycled and also can become the original resources again, which means when they start back the production, the products that already been used, the customers are not using it again, they can recycle it and use it back. So which means they are optimizing their resources without spending uh, additional for the additional to buy extra resources. Sustainable manufacturing always focuses on the 17 sustainable development goals, which is implemented by the United Nations. Okay, there are 17 sustainable development goals. Starts from number one, no poverty, two, zero hunger, three, good health and well-being. Okay, SDG 4, the short form for Sustainable Development Goals, quality education. SDG 5, gender equality. 6, clean water and sanitation. 7, which is the most important sustainable development goals that most of the countries are focusing, which is 6 and 7, because 6 focusing on the water management, okay, saving water resources. 7 focusing on generating renewable energy, optimization of the energy, reducing energy cost, which is the called as affordable and clean energy, because most of the rural areas are having difficulties finding access to the electricity. So SDG 7 focuses on that. At the same time, a company can implement solar panel to generate clean energy and save their electricity cost. So the current trend is, if you can see, most of the industries, not only industries, most of the development areas, they are already started to implement PV, photovoltaic system on the rooftop. Previously, they are using it to supply hot water in the houses, but now they are implementing to reduce the electricity cost. They are collaborating, they are integrating with the TNB. Okay, the next SDG 8 is the decent work and economical growth, which provides a very decent work for everybody and a better salary, which also contributes to the economical growth of the country. Next, 9 is the industry, innovation and infrastructure. SDG 10, reduce inequalities. 11, sustainable cities and communities. 17, responsible consumption and production. But now industries are focusing on SDG 12 as well, because they are trying to reduce their cost. They are trying to reduce their waste. How to optimize the product. Okay, let's say they have a waste. They are trying to use the waste, how they can recycle it, how they can reuse it, how they can reinvent the product. Okay, and the next, which is the most important for all the countries, is the climate action, SDGs 13. And then SDG 14, life below water, life on land. As I mentioned previously in previous talks, not here today, for previous talks, if you can see, not only us are living in this earth, life below water, and also life on land, which is the animals, birds, insects, and also fish are also very important living beings which needs to consider. The waste that we dump in the oceans and the rivers are basically polluting the habitats of the life on land and also life below water. So we have to be very careful and aware of it. And 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. SDG 16 is also very important. And 17 is the partnerships of all the goals. So this 17 SDGs plays a very important role in the industry. At the same time, there's another term I would like to highlight in this webinar today is called as the ESG, environmental, social, and governance, which is currently the industry is implementing. There are two different terms, ESG and SDG, but SDG also plays an important role. At the same time, ESG plays an important role. But however, using any terms, the main focus is to reduce cost, reduce waste, and also to reduce the negative environmental impacts, or negative impacts to the environment. The next slide I would like to mention is what are the elements is very important for sustainable manufacturing. As I mentioned previously, manufacturing cost, we must reduce it. Power consumption, definitely needs to reduce it. Waste management, waste is a very huge thing. If you see construction, once a construction or buildings have already appeared, they sometimes some of the waste, they clean it, but some of the waste goes into the drain. What happens is when the heavy rainfall, flood happens. So waste management is one of the important thing. Operational safety. Even though robotics are there, artificial intelligence are there, definitely we need human experts. When we mention about humans, definitely they need operational safety, personal health. It should not become we should avoid water pollution, air pollution, okay, and also we should focus on personal health and environmental friendliness, which means we need to concern about the environment. So these are the elements that each company should focus if they want the manufacturing process to be a sustainable manufacturing process. The next is, what are the challenges in achieving sustainable manufacturing process? These terms I aware after talking to many industry experts, CEO and directors. They have mentioned is the lack of standardized metrics. What are the metrics? How you evaluate them? What is the KPI, key performance indicators? So that like a guidance, standardized metrics is not there. Sometimes if they have it also, it's not from the government, it's basically is the own standardized metrics which is created by the company itself, which is good. But at the same time, we don't have a standardized metrics. We have it, but the implementation is lack. Okay, so the cost is too high. For example, if you want to, let's say you have a manufacturing thing, okay, you are using let's say if you, I will show you a few examples. Let's say you are manufacturing papers, okay. You already have an existing process and now you want to make it more sustainable. Basically you are adding an additional process into it. Additional process, additional manpower definitely relates to additional cost. So cost is definitely will be there, and lack of funding for green projects. Definitely companies willing to spend, but they could not able to spend more because they already have the reserve for the future. But at the same time, there is also lack of funding green projects, lack of sustainability concepts, which is locally conducted programs, awareness and innovation. Even like people like uh, engineers, managers need more awareness. It is not enough to save the environment at the moment. If you can see a lot of companies at the night, they release carbon monoxide gases. They could not able, they release effluent water secretly, silently. So this thing started because of lack of awareness, lack of consumer awareness for green project, which means customers, they already adapt to the old manufacturing process, which means the old products. They don't bother about whether it's green or not. They always focus on the cost effective of it. But now once they got the awareness of that, definitely they will focus on the green products, the manufacture from green materials, green projects. So consumer awareness, customer awareness is also a challenging part in achieving sustainable manufacturing. The next is, how are you going to make a sustainable manufacturing? How a company can make it a sustainable manufacturing? Let's focus only on the terms without giving some of the examples. Reduce inputs in production. For examples, you can try to reduce some of the inputs. You can find alternatives. Okay, you can find alternatives which does not provide harmful for the environment. Okay, let's say, as I mentioned, one of the examples is producing papers. You cut down the trees. From the trees you produce papers. How are you going to make it more sustainable? Maybe you can plant more trees. Let's say you cut down 10 trees, you plant another 10, 20 trees, because growing a tree takes, sometimes takes 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, and also up to 30 years. So you have to plan it. And at the same time, or without using chemicals, you can use biodegradable chemicals. So you can find alternatives. And the next is reevaluate the use of fossil fuels. Everything, if you use electricity, it's generating from the fossil fuels, not 100% from the renewable energy. So maybe they can able to think about it, reduce the electricity, maybe generate electricity using wind turbines, hydro, and also the common one is the solar panel. Okay, so companies can implement PVs, implement solar panel, because there's already a lot of apologies, scheme under the government and also under the SEDA. So maybe companies can go through that and start to implement. Improve efficiency in the facilities. For example, you can improve the excess of waste and help identify more efficient process in the production. Maybe you can call the experts, have a meeting, discuss how you can improve the facility, what is the waste the being, not only electricity waste, the water waste, light, like sometimes they just on the light, they didn't off it. Simple things, they call it as a low hanging fruit. Low hanging fruit means you start with a simple terms, then you can achieve a sustainable manufacturing in along the way. Recycle, everything you can recycle. So you find sometimes it's very difficult, some products is very difficult to recycle, some is very easy to recycle. So you can find recycle so that you can reduce waste, reduce cost, and have a positive environmental impact. So these three terms I keep on mentioning or throughout the talk is reduce waste, reduce cost, reduce uh, negative environmental impact. So that is the most crucial term. And decrease pollution, of course. Okay, you're trying to reduce the pollution. Utilize equipment could help reducing resources such as water treatment plants. Okay, so examples of sustainable manufacturing, there are many examples. What are the companies that implemented sustainable manufacturing? At the same time, they implemented technologies, AI, robotics, and so on. So I'm going to provide you some few examples. One of that is the Roma Food Products. This company, okay, Roma Food Products is a leading plant-based gluten and allergen-free food manufacturer based in Australia. They're based in Australia. Okay, they are part of their sustainability initiative is they implement solar grid. They started to use solar grid. 100% it doesn't generate from the solar grid, but they can reduce the electricity consumption that is generated from the fossil fuel. So basically they are using solar grid, which is a clean energy in their manufacturing facility, and it's considered programs that would help them like recycle, reduce waste, use rainwater tanks, which means they harvest the rainwater and then they filter it, then they use it back. Okay, and re-evaluate the sourcing of raw materials, which means they do a analysis, they evaluate whether the source of the raw materials can it be replaced by a other biodegradable products. So Roma took the initiative. Definitely there's a cost, but thank you for the Roma Food Products because they started so that they can be examples for other food products in the future. The next is the famous company everyone knows, everyone loves sports, everyone loves brands like Nike, Adidas, Puma. Okay, so the JD Sports, the leading sports retailer, JD Sports practices sustainability as well in different stages of manufacturing. Some of their ongoing initiatives includes they reducing plastic use. Reduce of plastic, they have reduces the plastic use, which is contributes a very huge positive impact to the environment. Recycling wastewater, encouraging the usage of renewable energy sources, and reducing the impact of greenhouse gas emissions using technologies. So JD Sports, some of their products, the one that they uses now, they're quite a little bit of expensive, but the customers now, once they got the awareness, they are willing to pay for it because they are concerned about the environment. So JD Sports, they invested on it, okay, and they took a very good initiative. They started with a very simple practice like reducing plastic use in their production, recycling wastewater, and encouraging the usage of renewable energy sources. So they started to implement solar photovoltaic as well for the electricity they consume. Okay, so one very good. Another example, which is a very famous to all, is the motor fuel group. Under this motor fuel group, we have a lot of companies like BP, Shell, Esso. So a lot of these oil companies, they also upgrading their infrastructure and retrofitting, which means they are trying to reduce the energy consumption. That is basically, so they started to use certain amount of their profits to implement this, and at the same time strengthening the adaptive capacity to climate related assets, promoting an inclusive urbanization, and many more, all in the effort to practice sustainability. So they started to practice sustainability. At the same time, what is the indicators are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is I have mentioned earlier, the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So this is the most important that mention of by the motor fuel groups is it's very good. I'm very happy to see that most of the multinational companies, not most of it, some of the important multinational companies and food industries also started to implement not only smart technologies in the manufacturing, also the focus is moving towards the sustainability of it. The next examples of technology used for smart manufacturing. When you mention smart, what are the technologies they are using? What are the terms they are using that we need to be aware of? Very important term currently Malaysia is implementing is Industry 4.0 technologies. These includes the technologies such as the Industrial Internet of Things, IIoT. We have Internet of Things, IoT. We also have IIoT and artificial intelligence, AI, and the data analytics. Like you have a very big data, complex data. At the same time, you can also analyze it easily and bring out a results where people can implement and optimize their production in the manufacturing process, which can be used to optimize production. As I mentioned, the processes reduces waste, increase energy efficiency. Same term again, I'm mentioning. Reduce waste, reduce cost, optimize production, increase energy efficiency, reduce energy consumption. It's very familiar terms in the smart manufacturing and sustainable manufacturing. Next is the 3D printing. 3D printing can reduce waste and energy consumption in the manufacturing process by allowing for the production of complex part with minimal material energy inputs. Another term for 3D printing is additive manufacturing, which is you can implement this technology for customization of the product. So as I mentioned previously, some customers, they are willing to customize their product, they're willing to pay more. So for that, 3D printing adds a very huge value for the manufacturing process. And the 3D printing that uses the PLA, some PLA are made up of biodegradable products. They use plastics, they use back the plastics, waste plastic products to create a filament, which is mentioned as a PLA. PLA can be used in 3D printing to produce another products. So they utilize back, they reuse back, recycle back the plastics, which ends up in reducing plastic waste to the environment. And I mentioned earlier, circular economy technologies. Circular economy technologies is technologies such as closed loop supply chains and product as a service models can help manufacture reduce waste. As I mentioned, it's not a linear economy, it's a circular economy where the started from the product manufacturing until the end of the product is used back again to start back to producing another new products. So which that's how the circular economy works, so that they can reduce the waste that generated can be reused back as a resources to produce new manufacturing products. The last, another one is clean energy technologies. When you mention about sustainability, focusing on SDG 7, which is affordable and clean energy using solar panels, wind power, they used to power the manufacturing operations, which comes back to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and the less dependency on fossil fuels. So the exploration of energy conservation is increasing in factory operations. Many people are using because they wanted to save money. Definitely. Okay. So because economic is one of the main focus. Automation and robotics. Everyone is trying to make it automation and robotics. Why? Because they can able to increase more better efficiency, reduce waste in manufacturing operations while also enabling the use of more sustainable materials and production methods. Let's say a human is making a 10,000 steps. There will be some error. Let's say a robot is making a 10,000 steps. There will be an error if I'm not coming to say that robots are better than humans or humans are better than robots. Collaboration between a human and a robots, a collaboration between a human and a system can reduce the error. And which means if it's reduce errors in the manufacturing process, you can optimize the operations and enable the use of more sustainable materials and production methods. And coming back to the same thing, sustainable material technology. Sustainable material technologies is you use of bioplastics, biodegradable products, a sustainable textiles. Okay, in India now they already started to implement biodegradable products for textiles. In China, in US, okay, slowly they are implementing biodegradable products. Okay, and also they are reusing, recycling all the clothes that is it's not being used. Okay, and which is coming back, reduce the environmental impact of manufacturing by enabling the use of materials that are produced using biodegradable resources. Okay, we are coming to the end part of it. Okay, you see, as a conclusion, as I mentioned earlier, manufacturers must leverage on technology to deliver sustainable. This term, not only from the Google or journal papers, is also mentioned by directors and CEOs. From their perception, they wanted to leverage the technology. The technology must support the sustainability of their business. So, not only implementing technology, producing more products, having more profits, not about that only. At the same time, it must be sustainable. It should not compromise the needs of the future and also at the current generation. So that is the main term of the sustainability. So the smart manufacturing technologies offers a pathway to a sustainable future by optimizing resources used, reducing waste, enhancing energy efficiency, ensuring supply chain sustainability, fostering agility, facilitating regulatory compliance, and driving innovation. So these are the terms very important in the manufacturing process. If anyone is seeing this webinar, thank you very much for having me today. This webinar will create awareness for them and started to focus. A simple awareness can make a small difference in the manufacturing process. Definitely, companies that implement this will reduce their waste, will reduce their cost, will reduce energy consumption, and start to focus more on the sustainability, even though the manufacturing is smart. Thank you very much for having me today, and I would like to end my session now.